ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। ओम श्री हयग्रीवाय नमः। ओम श्री वल्लभा समेत श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। Today we'll be looking at a new topic, which is Atmanah sukharUpatva-nirUpaNam. So even here there is a difference of opinion between the Vishishtadvaitins and the Advaita Sampradaya. In fact, in the Shruta Prakashika, Sudarshanacharya has said that Atma cannot be said as it is Sukha Swarupa. Because their argument is very simple, that everybody experiences both Dukkha and Sukha. Therefore, based on that, how can you say that Atma is Sukha Swarupa? Something like that. Okay. So even that point now, our Vellangonda is taking on that. So let us see what he says. So he says, Yacha Uktam Shruta Prakashikayam Sudarshanacharya Vachaspati Mata Khandana Avasare Nityasya Dukha Asambhinna Sukarupatvat Upadeyatum iti na vaktavyam. Nityasya Kaladehe Sukarupatva Adarshanath Nityasya Atmanaha Dukha Asambhinna Sukatva Adarshanacha iti Tadasat. Okay, so here the Shuta Prakashikakara, interestingly, when he is actually doing Khandana of Vachaspati, so he is saying what he is saying, that this one should see. Normally we say that the Purushartha, in fact I also say that all the time, the main Purushartha is that I want to be always happy, everywhere happy, like that. I want unconditional, unqualified happiness. This is the real Purushartha for everybody. So I want to obtain that happiness which will never go away, correct? Nitya Sukha is what one wants, but that cannot be a Purushartha, that cannot be something which one wants to gain. So it cannot have Upadeyatvam. This is what Sudarshanacharya is saying. So you cannot say that you want to gain a happiness or Sukha which is always there and which is not tainted by Dukkha, which has no sambandha or connection to any Dukkha. So Dukkha Amishrita Nitya Sukha is Upadeya, is to be gained. One cannot say, Na Vaktavyam, he says. Okay. Why? Because we never see anything like that, in fact, he says. And also that even saying that Atma being Nitya, its Sukha also has to be Nitya, let us say. It also has to be Sukha Swarupa, because of the fact that Atma itself is Nitya. Like this also we can actually argue. Even there they have a problem, because most of these Dvaitins and Vishishtadvaitins, they all go with Nyaya. So the Nyaya Vaisheshika, those two darshanas, they accept that there are many Nitya Padarthas. Okay. So for us, Atma alone is Nitya. Everything else is Anitya. But it is not the same. They actually say that many things are Vibhu. Many things are all pervading also. And there are many things which are eternal for them. And in that, they say that Kala Dehe Nityasya means Kala and even time and space. All these things are also considered as eternal or Nitya, but they are not Sukha-Rupa. Okay? Time by itself does not have any Sukha as its nature or its quality. So he is saying that one point is what, even though Kala is Nitya, it is not known as having Sukha-Rupatva, Adarshana. And also the Atma itself, if you take, even though Atma is Nitya, so they also accept even Jivatma is Nitya. That they cannot deny, because even in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan is talking about Atma being Nitya. Correct? So, Nityasya Atmanaha Dukkha Asambhinna Sukha Rupatva Adarshanath, he says. That means there is no Sukha Rupatva or Sukha Swarupatvam of Atma which is unconnected or untainted by Dukkha, by suffering. So, always we experience both suffering and happiness. That is our experience, correct? That being the case, how can you say that there is this Atma Swarupa which is only happiness, it is only Ananda, it is only Sukha, and there is no Dukkha at all in that. There is no suffering, there is no sorrow, there is no pain. All these things, how you can say that is not true? This is their argument. It goes with the regular, whatever, your day-to-day experience, correct? But that's not true. Why? First, we will address two things. One is there are not many Nitya Vastus. So to say that Kala is Nitya but it is Asukha, we don't accept Kala and even Akasha as Nitya. Okay? Because Shruti Pramana is there for that. In fact, Shruti alone we can give as Pramana, but nowadays even science also accepts that space-time is created. More than 100 years back, if you go even 100 years back, most people thought space-time is absolute. Even in classical physics, space-time is absolute. But only recently scientists are agreeing that space-time also is created. So in fact, 100 years back, even scientific argument would have been against Veda Pramana. Correct? That's why for certain things, the Veda Pramanatvam we cannot give up. Science and all is evolving. Whatever the Veda says, we have to go along with that. If it says Tasmad Etasmad Atmanaha Akasha Sambhutaha, Akasha is created only for us. And space-time is created. Kalasyapi Karanatvat Brahmanaha. So anything other than Brahman, everything else is only Artam. This is Brihadaranyaka again. Ataha Anyad Artam. Brahman alone is Nitya. Atma alone is Nitya. This Brahmatma alone is eternal, or which transcends space-time. Everything else is only, they are all subjected to space-time. They are all subjected to destruction, and they are all not eternal. They are all transient only. So Ataha Anyad Artam iti Srutya eva Srutya eva Brahma-bhinnasya Artatva Pratipadanena Kala Dehe Anityatva. So first thing is we are saying is that Kala etc. cannot be considered as Nitya. Kala is only Anitya, and we are quoting Shruti for that. Of course, you could have also quoted uh, other Shrutis are also there. Anyway, this Shruti is fine. Then Asango hi ayam Purushaha Anando Brahmeti Vyajana iti Brahmanaha Dukkha Asamsrishta Sukha-Rupatva Shravanacha. Again, we are quoting the Shruti to say that Brahman is Asangaha. Asangaha hi ayam Purushaha, not connected to anything at all. But it is Anando Brahmeti Vyajana. Ananda Dhyeva Phal Vimani Bhuta Nijayante, and all is there. Okay. Anando Brahmano Vidwan Nabibheti Kadachaneti Nabibheti Kutaschaneti, both are there. So Brahman is Ananda, it is Ananda Swarupa. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma also is there in in Brihadaranyaka. Correct? So this Brahman is revealed by the word Ananda. So Ananda is a Brahma Lakshana, it is Brahma Swarupa, and that Ananda is not tainted by any dukkha. It cannot be tainted by any dukkha because Atma is Asanga. So like this, by quoting these two things, we are also showing that dukkha asamsrishta means not touched or tainted by dukkha. Sukharupa, the very nature of Brahman is Sukha Swarupa, and it can never be touched by any suffering or sorrow or pain or anything. That is the reality of Brahman, which is Atma. Once you say this, now the Purva Pakshi is having an interesting argument. So he says, Nacha Brahma tata bhutamastu Atma na tata bhutaha iti vachyam. Okay. So now Purva Pakshi is saying what? Brahma can be like that. Brahman is Sukha Swarupa, Brahman is Asanga, but not Atma. So now they are bringing difference between Brahman and Atma. So you cannot say the same for Atma. If you say like that, no, why? Because Brahmatmanoho Abheda Shravanat. So Brahman and Atma are not two different things. It is one and the same. And so many Mahavakyas are there. Tat Satyam Sa Atma iti Tattvamasi Ematma Brahma ityadi Shrutibhyaha न च सुखी अहम दुखी अहम इति प्रतीतितः आत्मा दुःख संभिन्न सुख रूपः इति वाच्यम. So now we are quoting Shruti again, saying that you cannot say that Brahman can be Sukha Swarupa, but Atma is not like that, because Brahman and Atma are one and the same, they are identical, and there are Mahavakyas like Tattvamasi in Chandogya, Tat Satyam Sa Atma Tattvamasi, and Ayamatma Brahma in Mandukya. So all these Shrutis are there. Aham Brahmasmi also is there in Brihadaranyaka. So like this, all these Shrutis are pointing out the identity between Brahman and Atma. Therefore, Atma is Sukha Swarupa only. Now, once you say this, what? Now they are going back to the Laukika Anubhava. Correct? Laukika Anubhava. The Laukika Anubhava or the worldly experience is what? Nata Sukhi Aham Dukhi Aham iti Pratititaha Atma Dukha Sambhinna Sukarupaha iti. That means what? We have experienced that I am not Sukhi, I am not happy, I am suffering, I am in pain, I am in sorrow. All these experiences are there. I am the one who is knowing all these things. This pratiti is there. Pratiti means I am cognizing all these things. Right? The one who has cognized these things, I know that I am suffering and I am not happy. All these things are very well known to me. Therefore, Atma is Dukkha Sambhinna Sukha Rupaha means, of course, I also know that I am happy sometimes. Right? Both are there. So, Atma is somebody who is connected to Dukkha also and Sukha also. So, Dukkha Sambhinna means, Sambhinna means here it is Sanyukta, connected or related, or it is mixed with both. Okay. So you cannot say like this, we are saying, na vachyam. Why? This aham sukhi, dukhi, etc. also are really what? They are also only avidya, correct? They are all adhyasa. In fact, even the Dvaitins and Vishishtadvaitins accept that they also have to accept avidya avastha and avidya avastha. Understand that? In fact, this thing Bhashyakara points out in the Brihadaranyaka Bhashya also. I think it is there in either 8th Brahmanam end or 9th Brahmanam end in the 3rd chapter in Brihadaranyaka. So it is there. It is Samya. For everybody, it is the same. Everybody has to talk about a Vidya Avastha, which is the moksha, correct? Which is the asamsari avastha. Because samsaritvam is there. From there only moksha you have to go. The samsari avastha is avidya avastha only for everybody. But what is the nature of that avidya? and how you get the moksha and what is the nature of the moksha swarupa and all, there are differences. And they also say manishyoham, sthuloham, badiroham, all these things. These are all not true, correct? Even for Dvaitins, this is all avidya only. So they accept here, these pratitis are not true. So Atma is not really a Manushya. So there is a Atma Tadatmya is there, or the Deha Tadatmya. So you take yourself as the Deha, and based on that you say that I am a human being. So you identify with a human body and say I am a human being. Again you identify with the human body and say I am fat, or I am deaf, I am blind, all these things. Okay, or you identify with a particular part in the human body or a sense organ and say things like that, correct? So all these pratitis are there. Similarly, I am sukhi, I am happy, I am dukhi, I am suffering, I am in sorrow. All these things are also only similar tadatmya buddhi. It is born out of tadatmya with the mind, basically. You are identifying with the emotional states of the mind and then say, this cannot be taken as reality. Okay. So he is pointing out that बदिरोहम स्थूलोहम बदिरोहम इत्यादि प्रतीतिवत सुखित्वादि प्रतीतेः आत्मतादात्म्य अध्यास प्रयुक्तत्वात्. So yes, how do I say that I am sukhi or dukhi? Because it is because of doing this adhyasa. Okay, I am engaging in doing this adhyasa, this superimposition. I identify myself as either the body, the sense organs, or the mind. And when I identify with my mental states and my emotions in my mind, then these kinds of cognitions are there. We don't deny that it is not there, but they are not reality. They are all only adhyasa. And they also accept, as I told you, manishyoham, sthuloham, etc. are all adhyasa. Okay. So you cannot accept that and say this is not adhyasa. Further, what? Nacha atma sukavad dravyameva Natu guna bhuta sukhamiti vachyam. Okay, two more things which the Vishishtadvaitin says. For them, everything is guna and guni. Bhava is there everywhere. There is a quality and a qualified substance. They always talk about even the ultimate reality is like that for them. Correct? So Brahman itself is Vishishta Advaitam when they say there is no real Advaitam. It is really Vishishta Advaita because there is a Visheshana and a Vishishta or a Guna and a Guni. So for them, Atma is Sukhavat Dravyam, means it is a Dravya, it is a substance which has Sukha as a Guna, and Sukha is only a Guna. So, Guna Bhuta Sukham means what? Sukham is nothing but a Gunam. It is a quality alone. And actually, it exists in a substance called Atma. So, this is how even Nayayikas look at Atma. So, Atma has all these qualities. Even Jnanam itself is a quality of Atma for them. Similarly, Sukha also. So, whatever we say is the Swarupa, they take all these things as actually a Visheshana only. So you cannot say this we are saying. Why? Nirgunasya Atmanaha Sukavad Dravyatya Dravyatva Ayoga. Because Atma is Nirguna. And in the Nirguna Atma, there cannot be any guna like Sukha, etc. Therefore, Atma cannot be a substance in which there is some guna. This Nirgunaha. If you say like this, what? Then again they will come back and say Atma is not Nirguna. In fact, there is a separate section where our author is going to also establish the Atmanaha Nirgunatvam or Nirvisheshatvam. We'll see that. But right now, he doesn't go very deep into it. He quotes this, and then what? The Purva Pakshi comes back. He says, Nacha Atma na Nirgunaha iti vachyam. Again, if the Purva Pakshi says Atma cannot be Nirgunaha, we don't accept that. You cannot say that. Why? Because again, Shruti, Kevalaha Nirgunascha iti Shrutehe. Shruti is very clear. Atma is Nirguna. Not only Nirguna, Nishkriya, like this, if there is a whole lot of things it negates in Atma. Okay. So the Apavada Shruti is very thorough. It negates Jati, Guna, Kriya, Sambandha, everything. Okay, with reference to Atma. So here we are quoting Shruti one line and then just answering the Purvapakshi. Okay. Once you say this, what the Purvapakshi now goes for another argument. What is that? Nanu, yadi Atma Sukham, tarhi Sukhasya Gunattvena Nirgunatvepi Yatkinchid Dravyashritatvam Avasyam Vaktavyam Tatascha Shesha Eva Syat Kasyapi iti. Okay, now this is the Shesha Sheshi Bhava also they talk about a lot. Okay, the Vishishtadvaitins particularly. Now he is saying Atma, let it be Sukha. But if you say Atma is Sukha, then Sukha is a Guna for them. That they are very sure. Okay, so Sukha is Guna. And Guna itself can be called a Nirguna because a Guna cannot have another Guna for them. Okay, so if Atma is called Nirguna, that is because it is already a Guna. And a Guna cannot have another Guna. Therefore, you can say that Guna itself is Nirguna. Like this, they are making an argument which is very funny anyway. And but if it is a Guna, it cannot exist by itself. In fact, for them, this argument is fine because they say that even all the jivas are all like a Visheshana for the Paramatma, correct? So the Shesha Sheshi Bhava is bringing now. Here, so this Atma, the Jivatma for them, in fact, you can take it as Sukha and Nirguna, but still, it itself being a Guna, it has to have a Dravya, it has to reside only in a Dravya, correct? Yatkinchit Dravya Ashritatvam Avashyam means the Guna cannot exist by itself, it has to always reside in some substance. Okay, the some substance is required for it to exist in. Like this, you cannot say actually, but they are saying. So, yatkinchit dravya ashritatvam avashyam vaktavyam. So, you have to say that there has to be a dravya, and therefore, what will happen? This atma will become a shesha. So, shesha means you can say it is secondary or supplementary or an appendix or something like that, or simply a quality. Okay, and you require a qualified, which is the sheshi. Okay, the primary are the main thing. So the Sheshi is the main thing and Atma is only a Shesha. That my Guruji, Puja Swamiji used to say, at least before you studied Vedanta like this, you at least thought you are a noun. I am a noun. I am somebody. Now you study Vishishtadvaita, you become an adjective. You lose your status as a noun, which is very pathetic in fact. So you become a Shesha or a quality for on Paramatma. So you are no more even a noun. At least you were somebody, now you are nobody. So anyway, so this is their argument. Means if they say that ma evam, it cannot be in this manner. Why? Sarva sheshitvat atmanaha. So atma is sarva sheshi. In fact, everything becomes evident to the atma alone. Atma is the invariable in each and every cognition. The entire world can be divided into subject and object. Atma is the invariable subject, eternal subject. In fact, the status of being subject itself is superimposed on the Atma. It appears in the Atma. The objects are also appearing in the Atma. It is the one which appears as the Triputi itself. The subject, object, and the knowledge or the experience, all these things are all Atma alone. So it is the Sarvasheshi. So it is everything in fact. And everything else is actually Shesha and Atma is the Sarvasheshi. That is the vision of the Shruti actually. And here with reference to the sukha. What do we say? They are confusing the experiential sukha with sukha swarupa. The same thing happens with in jnanam also. The jnana kriya they confuse with the swarupa jnana. Both places they have confusion. So now he is pointing it out. He says vritti jnanavat vritti sukhasya eva gunatvena chaitanya abhinna atma sukhasya agunatvena anya anashrayatva. Okay. Anashrayatva. Yeah. So here, vritti jnana is confused with swarupa jnana. And they say that jnanam is anityam. Okay. So even Brahman also is only having jnanam as a quality. Similarly, vritti sukha. Vritti sukha means what? The sukha which is experienced in a manovritti. That is the experiential sukha. Now that is anitya. You can say that is a guna also. You have no problem with that. So this vritti jnana and vritti sukha, which are all basically manovrittis, they are confused with the sukha swarupa, jnana swarupa also, which is chaitanya abhinna, which is the atma swarupa itself, correct? This whatever jnana and sukha we talk about or ananda we talk about, they are all one and the same with chaitanya, which is atma itself, and it cannot be a guna. It is not a quality of atma. It is its very nature, correct? And also what? This atma itself is not having anything else as ashraya. You cannot say that atma has an ashraya and something else. There is no pramana for that. So anya anashrayatva also. So these things are all not residing somewhere else. They are the very swarupa of atma, and atma itself is not having anything else as an ashraya. Everything becomes evident to this atma. Everything is in this atma, in fact. So it is the ashraya for everything, but it does not reside anywhere else. Okay. So based on this, what pratyuta sarvasyapi ashrayatvacha iti. So that's what I told you now. It does not have any ashraya, but everything else has this atma as the ashraya. That is the nature of this atma. How can you say that it is a sheshi? Sorry, it is a shesha. Atma is the sarva sheshi. Okay. Then what? Even now what they are saying, nanu loke anityasya eva sukasya upadeyatva darshanat sarvam sukham anityam upadeyam chaiti vyaptihi siddhehe yadi nitya atma tarhina sukharupaha napi upadeyaha iti. Say, again, they are now giving a very interesting anumana. This they are saying in the loka always sukha is anitya. We agree that we have no problem with that. So anityasya eva sukasya upa, but still it is being pursued by people, correct? People want this anitya sukha. They are going after it desperately. So this anitya sukha is upadeya. This vyapti we get means whatever sukha people are pursuing, all of that is anityam only in the loka. Therefore, uh, whenever you say that sukham is to be pursued, that can only be anitya sukha. So anityam sukham upadeyam, and therefore what? Even if atma is nitya, it cannot be sukha rupa, and also it cannot be obtained or gained. In fact, if you say atma is nitya and already sukha swarupa, why should I even gain it? They put an argument like that also. If it is already accomplished, why should I again accomplish it? So whatever is not accomplished alone, you want to gain. But if you gain something newly, you will anyway lose it. It is anitya only, but only such kind of a sukha can be obtained. Whatever you are saying, this Atma Sukha, which is a Swarupa, can never be a Purushartha. It can never be obtained on. Because whatever Sukham which people are pursuing is always Anityam. That Vyapti is there, that invariable concomitance is there. Based on that, I am doing this Anumana. Therefore, Atma, even though it may be Nitya, but it cannot be Sukharupa, or it cannot have a Nitya Sukha Swarupa. So if you say like this, what? Ma evam vadihi, you cannot say like that in this manner. Why? Sutasya nityatve vishaya janyatva upadehe satvat. So the sukha being anitya in the loka, we agree. But why it is anitya, we have to see, correct? There is a upadhi there. Sopadhika hetu, we say. See, if you study Nyaya, one of the important things we study, little bit of Nyaya, everybody has to study. For why do we study? Because they do talk about all this, how to do reasoning, correct? Inference, and what are all the pitfalls or fallacies which one can have. So one of the fallacies is called sopadhika hetu. So this upadhi also is somewhat similar to the meaning of the upadhi we use, correct? Upadhi means, I translate it as conditioning factor. Here also, why do we say the hetu has upadhi? Means it is conditional. It's not always true. Is that clear? What you say is correct. That the whatever you are experiencing here, that sukha is anitya. But there is a reason for that. There is a qualification or a condition. Because of that condition only, Atma is having anityatva. The Atma, the sukha, whatever you experience here is anitya. Not Atma is having anitya. Sorry. The sukha which you are experiencing is anitya because there is a reason or there is a condition for that. But that condition may not be always true. So you cannot base your reasoning on that. But for example, the sopadhika, one standard example we give is, see, normally the inference is what? The hill has smoke, therefore it has fire, correct? So that vyapti is fine because wherever there is smoke, there is fire, we say. That vyapti is fine. But if you reverse it, the hill must have smoke because it has fire. If you say that vyapti is sopadhika, it's not correct. There is a hetu abhasa there. Abhasa means distortion, you can say. It's not proper reasoning or proper reason is not there, the hetu, the cause. Why? Because always fire need not have smoke. It depends on wet fuel, we say. Correct? The indhana has to have, it has to have some wetness. Then only it will have smoke. If you can have smokeless fire, flame and all that, correct? Or you have a red hot ball of iron, it does not have any smoke, but it has fire there. So like that, it is not true that always fire has smoke. That is sopadika because it is conditional. But wherever fire is there, wherever smoke is there, fire has to be there. That is true. Okay. So like that here, you said that sukha is anitya. There is a reason for that because it is Vishaya Janya. Correct? Vishaya Janya Sukha is Sopadika. We accept that. We have no problem. So Vishaya Janyatva Upadehe Sattva. So the Sukha will be Anitya if it is born out of some object, sense object. Because that sense object itself is Anitya. Okay. So he explains that yad vishayajanyam sukham tad anityamiti vyaptya aihika sukhavat amushmika sukhe api anityatva nischayadeva vidusaha aihika amushmika bhoga viragasya jatatvat. Okay, now what is the correct correct reasoning or inference? Anumana. Now he is doing the correct anumana. What? Yes, vishayajanya sukha is anitya. Therefore, like the Vishayajanya Sukha which is available in this world, here, Aihika, Amushmika Sukha, even if you go to Swarga, there also what? That Sukha will be Anitya only, because there also it is only Vishayajanya Sukha. So in both places, Vishayajanya Sukha being there, you have to have Vairagya for the Sukha which is there here, and similarly, whatever Sukha you may have in Swarga also, towards that also you gain Vairagya, dispassion. So like this for the Vidwan or the Mumukshu. Vidushaha here means already once you are a Mumukshu, you will become a Vidwan. So he is called Vidushaha here. So for the Vidushaha or the knowledgeable wise person, there is dispassion towards Sukha here and also hereafter. This is fine. This kind of Anumana is fine, but not what you do. Because the Atma Swarupa Ananda or Sukha we talk about is not Vishaya Janya. Is that clear? So that upadhi is not there with reference to Atma. So whatever Anumana you are doing is faulty, it is fallacious. Okay. So asti kinchid ajanyam nityam atma bhutam sukhamiti vedantataha pratipattehe atma sukhe upadeyatva buddhi bhavati eva. Also what? Vedanta is coming and declaring, okay, with so much clarity that what there is a sukha which is ajanya. It is not. It's not that it is not born of Vishaya, etc., but it is not born at all. It's not something which has a beginning or birth. Ajanyam Nityam, which is always there, eternal. Atma Bhutam, and it is in the form of yourself. It's your very nature. What is that? Sukham. Sukham is your very nature. It is not born due to some cause or anything. It is uncaused, beginningless, and it is endless also. That kind of a Sukha is there. And where did you know that from? Vedantataha, from the Vedanta only. So having known this, Vedantataha pratipattehe, Atma sukhe upa, then once you know this what? You will be only interested. If you are an intelligent person, wise person, you will be only interested to pursue this. You will not be interested really in the Anitya, Vishaya Sukha of the world or even heaven, etc. Because in reality, everybody is seeking only unqualified happiness. And if the Vedanta comes and says that is possible, that is already there, you have to just know that, then there is no better news than that. And one has to immediately start pursuing that, correct? If you are a wise person. So that alone is really worthy of your pursuit, worthy of all the effort you put in to gain that. So it is something which is upadeya, which has to be gained. Okay, then what? Kincha yasya anityepi sukhe upadeyatva buddhihi tasya nitye sukhe upadeyatva buddhihi kim vaktavya. So no, that's what he's saying. See, normally human beings are going after even anitya sukha because they don't know any better, let us say. So even there, everybody is going after that only. But then what if they know that there is nitya sukha? Then definitely it will be something worthy of your pursuit, or it is the only thing which is worthy of your pursuit. That is the Parama Purushartha, in fact, moksha. Therefore, the Upadeyatva Buddhi, the idea that I have to gain that, definitely will be there. What to say about that? Kim Vaktavya? Okay. Na kevalam Shruti Pramanyadeva Atmanaha Sukha Swarupatvam Nityatvancha Kintu Yuktitaha api. So again, further what he says, see, Shruti Pramana I have quoted, but it is not only Shruti Pramana. Even we can give also Yukti. Shruti Sammata Tarka. This is what is called. The Yukti which is based on the Shruti itself, which actually reinforces whatever the Shruti Pramana is revealing to us. I can give you Yukti. What is that? Tatahi. What is the Yukti we are giving? So, because of this Atma being Sukha Swarupa only, what? Aham kadapi ma abhuvam iti na kintu sarvada api bhuyasam iti parama prema atmani ikshyate. So, see, everybody, what is their feeling, or what will they say if you ask him, do you want to be there tomorrow? Means yes, I want to exist always. I should always exist. There should never be any time where I am non-existent. Correct? That's what first he is saying. Aham kadapi ma abhuvam. Iti na. Means at any time I am not there. It should not be like that. Correct? I should always be there. Kintu sarvadapi bhuyasam. Always I have to be there. So everybody wants to always live, because you cannot really accept that you are a mortal or your existence is going to come to an end, etc. That very thought itself is not, we are not able to entertain. That's why even in the Yaksha Prashna, this one question is there, correct? What is the most Ascharyavat Vishaya? Okay, most surprising thing which you notice, like this Yaksha is asking, and Yudhishthira says, even though everybody is dying around you, you still think that you don't think about your own death or whatever, correct? You think that you are still immortal. This is the most surprising or Ascharyavat Vishaya. That is the instinct, in fact. By instinctively, we cannot even appreciate, or we cannot really think about that my own non-existence can never be there. So, if you want something to exist so much, then it must be something which is very, very lovable, correct? This Parama Premaspada. It has to be. Atma is the Parama Premaspada. It is the source of all happiness. That is why you want it to be always. Even a very old man, if you the body is creaking, he is not able to get up and all that. But if you say, no, no, Yama is standing outside, he wants to take your life away, means he'll say, no, no, ask him to come tomorrow. Even then, how does suicide happen? Means even there, nobody wants their non-existence. Actually, what they want is, they think that in this life now they cannot be happy anymore. So even their happiness is the Parama Purushartha. So they somehow think that by killing this body, at least the next body will be better and all that. Even there, I don't think anybody is foreseeing their own non-existence. Basically, they want this suffering or grief to end. That's all. So one cannot really think of one's own non-existence, and that Atma has to be Parama Prema Aspada. It should be the locus of this great love, and so that is seen by everybody, right? Parama Prema Atmani Ikshyate. So if something is pleasing only, you will want to have it all the time. Otherwise, why should you even have? So, Tacha Parama Premaspadatvam Atmanaha sukharUpatva-Bhave na Sambhavati. So if Atma has to be pleasing, it has to have its very nature as Ananda only, correct? It has to be the source of all happiness. Its very nature should be Sukha, joy. Otherwise, this is not possible. That's why the Upanishad says, Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavat. Correct? That is the Maitreyi Brahmanam in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is teaching the same thing. Atma, everything is pleasing to you. Why? Because it pleases you. You want to discover a pleased self in the presence of something, means that something becomes pleasing to you. As soon as it becomes not pleasing to you, then you are ready to reject it, discard it. Correct? That's why Pujya Swamiji, my guru, used to say, Initially, you love something, but later on, you allow it to go away. So, first there is love, later on, allow only. Like that. So, this Atma is the Sukha Swarupa. Everything is for the sake of Atma. But Atma alone is unconditionally loved. So, whatever is unconditionally loved has to be the source of all happiness also. It cannot be otherwise. Everything else is conditionally loved because it brings it actually invokes the pleased self in you. So the love for any other object is because it is invoking the pleased self in you. It is for your sake only. But yourself is unconditionally you love yourself. Therefore, it has to be the Parama Prema Aspada, like that he is using the word. It is the locus of great love. Okay. Its very nature has to be strong. So, lokehi sukha eva prema drishyate jantoho. So again, you love something. Why? Because it gives you joy. So even in the world, we love things because they give us happiness or joy. Nacha sukha heto api drishyate iti vachyam. So whatever gives joy also you love means, why do I love that? Because it is giving me joy, correct? Not for its own sake. See, in the Maitreya Brahmanam also explicitly so many things are said. The husband is not loved for his own sake, but only for the sake of the self. Wife is not loved for his own sake, but only for the sake of the self. Like this, there is a whole list is given first. Then finally it is said, Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavat. So everything is loved not for the sake of that object, but only for the sake of the self. Therefore, he says, Sukha Prayuktatvena Anyata Siddhatva. So even the Sukha Hetu also, why do you love? Because the Sukha Hetu is implied so that you can get Sukha, correct? It is for my Sukha only, the Sukha, the Vastu also is there. Whatever is causing me happiness, there my happiness is the most important thing. I am not loving the thing which causes me happiness because of its sake. I am loving it only because it is giving me Sukha, correct? So it is useful to me, it is used so that I can be happy. So the love for a particular object which gives me happiness is not for its sake. It is only for the sake that it gives me happiness. Otherwise, nobody will love a thing, correct? Otherwise, it's not possible. Anyata siddhadvar. It is giving me sukha, or it is employed or used so that I can get sukha. That is why I love that. Even any sukha hetu also. But with reference to Atma, he is pointing out, Idan cha Atmani Drishyamanam Prema na Anyathartham. So whatever whatever the love you have for yourself, it is unconditional. It is not for the sake of something else. Every other object you love because it gives you happiness. Correct? It gives myself. One loves some other thing because it gives oneself happiness. Or at least it invokes in me whatever a state, a mental state where I don't look upon myself as a wanting being, that is good enough for me to feel happiness or joy. The experiential joy is only that much. Anything which invokes in you a mental state where you don't look upon yourself as lacking or wanting and all that. That's why Pujya Swamiji, in fact, he used to demonstrate it beautifully. Even in all his public talks, he will give a beautiful, nice joke. He will say, and everybody will laugh. Then immediately he'll ask, did any of your problems go away now? Did you pay off all your debts? Like this, nothing has changed, but you are able to suspend everything and still laugh and enjoy. How? That's because at that time, when you hear a joke and when you are laughing, you are not looking at yourself as lacking anything or a wanting person. then you can still suspend everything and enjoy. That's because Atma is Sukha Swarupa. Or in sleep also. How much ever sadness you have, you go into sleep. Sukha Swarupa for everybody. That is a Samanya, correct? Whether you went to sleep happily or you went to sleep with great sorrow, the sleep itself, assuming you are able to sleep well, is Samanya. It is Sukha only always. So that is my real nature. That is my Swarupa Ananda. Whatever. In fact, we can get up and recollect that Sukha. That we say is actually due to a Shanta Vritti or Avidya Vritti also. Because that recollection is possible in the mind, because even though mind is, we say it is not active there, but still a Vritti has taken place in the mind at that time. So you are able to recollect, I slept well and all that. I slept nicely. It was enjoyable. But even though, but that Shanta Vritti also is pointing to only the Sukha Swarupa of the Atma. So this Atma, whatever the Atma Sukha we talk about is Swarupa, it's very Swarupa and it is not for the sake of anything else. Na Anyartham, Kintu Atmarthameva iti Nirupadhikaha Mata eva Atma Sarvasyapi Sheshi Natu Kasyachidapi Sheshaha. So okay. Now this Atma Sukha we talk about is for the sake of Atma alone. And again, this every other sukha is also for the sake of Atma. From this, what? Nirupadika. Nirupadika means this Atma's sukha is unconditional. The love for Atma is unconditional. There is no upadhi. There is no conditioning factor or condition or whatever qualification or anything. And this is the Atma we are talking about. And this Atma is Sarvasyapi Sheshi. So this is the Atma for the sake of which everything exists really. And it is not a Shesha for anything. It is not secondary or a supplementary or an appendix or anything to anything else. Atma alone is in fact, it is the only thing which really exists all anyway. So it is Satyam. This Atma alone is Satyam. Everything else is only an appearance. So it is the Sarvasyapi Sheshi. That is the vision. That is the vision of the Vedanta. So etena Atmanaha Brahma Sheshatvavadaha Parastaha. So from this what we understand, this Atma, the Jivatma is actually a Shesha to Brahman or Paramatma. This kind of a Vada we cannot accept. This Atma is identical to Brahman and it is not a Shesha to anything. It is not an appendix or a part of something else. It is one partless whole. It is Purnaha. That is the nature of this Atma. It is complete, it is whole, it doesn't lack anything, it is limitless. So yaditu brahmatmanoho bhedaha ityeva agrahaha tarhi brahmaiva atmanas sheshas syat. So now he says one more thing. What? Even uh, if you say that Brahman and Atma are different, or if you that's all, like you are an Ajnani, you don't know that Brahman and Atma are one. Right? So the Brahmatmanaha Vedaha only you are seeing, Abeda you are not able to see. Even then what will happen? Brahman will become the Shesha for Atma, he says. Because even Bhagavan is for your sake only. Then understand that. Bhagavan also is for your sake. So you use Bhagavan, Arthaha, Arthati and all Bhagavan says even there, correct? So Bhagavan becomes the Shesha. Bhagavan becomes an object, in fact. That is one of the things my Guruji used to say also. If you make Bhagavan as one more object in the world, then you are actually making Bhagavan as Shesha, correct? Bhagavan becomes Jada also. You are the only Chaitanya, you cannot establish another Chaitanya Vastu. And if you say Bhagavan is an object of my cognition and all that, then Bhagavan becomes a Jada, Anatma in fact. Bhagavan will become Anatma. Bhagavan is other than me means Bhagavan is Anatma. And Bhagavan will become Jada, Bhagavan will become Marichinna, all these problems will come. But even then, let us say many people think like that, but even then, Bhagavan is for your sake. It will become like that, correct? Bhagavan becomes the Shesha, you are still the Sheshi, even then. And Bhagavan will be like what he says, Pashvadivat, Brahmanaha api, Atmarthameva Priyatvat, iti Astam Tat. So even if you say that Bhagavan will become like Pashu, etc., they are all for my sake, correct? So the cows are for my sake. They are being kept, well kept, because you can use them for your own purpose. Like that, Bhagavan also will be for your sake only. So even if you say whatever you say, even for you also it is not Ittapati, he is not there. So based on that also, this thing is you have to give up this particular this position. Okay. So like this Atmanaha Sukha-Swarupatvam has been now established. Now Nityatva-Nirupanam also. Okay, Atmanaha Nityatva-Nirupanam he does in an interesting manner. Only one chapter. Maybe we'll see this in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.